the Knitter's Notebook Podcast, page 4. I am Haxann. You can find me on Ravelry as HaxannKnits and on Instagram as HaxannEvers. This is a knitting podcast. Okay, so I have things to talk about. I have a lot of stuff. Start with some finished objects and whips, and then some design talk. So, first finished object I have is this shawl. Well, it's a little shawlette. I cast this on last Sunday, I think. It's made of a bunch of worsted weight scraps. Just a simple triangle shape. I just was going through my scraps, had a lot of these little bits of worsted, like some are really small, like this red stripe. Just decided to see how far they'd go. It was my first time actually doing a garter tab cast on, which I did fine. I just think in the future when I do it, I should probably plan ahead so that it doesn't look like it doesn't flow into the edging like it should, because I did too much or too little, I don't know. But just a simple triangle shape. And this will be a gift later on. Just out of worsted weight yarn, I knit this on a US size 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter. So yeah. Playing garter stitch was really fun. Just whip something quick up like that. Actually, my problem with doing scrappy projects is I'm always afraid, like I want to use it all up. When I get to the end of a row, will I have enough to make it back? So actually for this one, I just said, whatever. And because I don't like having the color changes on the right side, when I start to run out of color, I just would start to purl. So I got this one stuck in it. Stripe, if you can see that, just enough so that I can make it to the end without ending up with the color change on the other side. And that's it. That's all I have to say about that. I have another shawl that I'm really excited about. Let me get this out of the way. The other shawl. I talked about how I was in a crocheting mood, and I was going through my scraps like with that, and I went through my DK scraps, and I found a bunch of this purple color that I always have a lot of. I don't know why. I guess I really like that color, but then you end up with so much of a color you don't know what to do with it anymore. So I decided to crochet it up into a shawl. I've got some ends that I need to trim. But it's just this big asymmetrical shawl. I can't even get it all. It's really nice. I love it. So I just started with 3 stitches in crochet. I used the half double crochet stitch. And just did an asymmetrical shape, which means every row on the one side I increased by a stitch. So I just did an increase on one side every time I came to that side, either at the beginning or at the end of a row. Just kept going. This purple color is, I think it's Baby Bee in the grape jelly colorway, and this yarn is also the same brand. I don't remember the color, but this is the Joy DK in the coral colorway. It's actually the same colors I'm wearing. I'll talk about this in a little bit. But I just kept going, and because it's crochet and I'm not really sure. Does anyone know how to weave in your ends all neatly in crochet? I mean, in knitting you can do it all neatly, but in crochet you kind of can't. So I would crochet over them, and that's why I have these little ends. Because I don't like just crocheting over them, because I feel like they can just swivel their way back. So I should take my yarn needle and just kind of weave them in better. I have a couple like that, but it's really nice and big. Let's have it stay here in all its glory for a second. I'm horrible at wearing shawls. Oh, actually, no, I'm not. Look at that. Wow. Magic of just doing it quickly. It's not bad. I love it. It's so nice. I'm really torn. Is this going to be a gift? Is it going to be for me? It looks really nice with this top. I don't know. Oh, I crocheted it on I think it's an H hook, the 5mm hook. I think. No, the 4mm hook, which I have no idea what the letter is for that, but it's 4mm hook. So yeah, there it is, and it's all pretty, and I love it. Okay, now before I forget again, I'm actually wearing, I think you saw this as a work in progress, my top. We'll call it the coral top because that's the color of the yarn. I really love it. I just love it so much. It has this, it's a raglan. It has this lace detail on the sleeves, and if I stand up, you can see it on the hem. It's got no waist shaping or anything, it's just straight down and just simple sleeves, and I love how I did the neckband, just the number I started with, no shaping or anything, so simple, and it's really nice, and I love it. Okay, now my last finished object, which I also really love, are, actually I brought my sock blockers, because I am prepared. I'll put one on the sock blocker. I finished my pair of voxel socks, which is what I'm calling them. So the light's not really good right here, so I hope you can see. Here's the sock. Yeah, it's really dark over here. Maybe you can tell, I don't know. But I show these as a work in progress. It's got a 2x2 rib cuff, a mini heel flap, a German short row heel with the mini heel flap adjustment, which is a heel pattern by Mina Phillip of Maniac Spec Designs. And then it's got my star toe. So it's this really great texture pattern. I'll show you on the front. I'm calling the pattern Voxel because it's these little square boxes and just knitting and purling, and there's this simple, fake cable with the rib down the front, and this continues all the way down, foot, and then on the back, just every once in a while you have a purl row, which you can not do if you don't want, but I love every once in a while when you have straight stockinette and just throwing a purl row in there when you're knitting. It's fun. It's great fun. Here they are, and they are knit on a US 2.75. I can speak millimeter needle. I knit the magic loop, and the yarn is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in the Barn Door Heather colorway, which is lots of tweed, and I hope you can see. It feels so nice and squishy. Here we go. I really love them. Okay, that's all the finished objects, and now we are on to whips. And the first whip we'll grab, I'm keeping in this bag. This is usually where I keep my socks. Okay, it's actually a half object because they're really close to being done. Okay, so here's it's a pair of socks. Okay. The yarn is in here somewhere. Here it is. It's Premier Yarns Wool-Free Sock Stripes. It's 93% acrylic, 7% PBT, and the color is Farm Stand. That's what the label looks like. And it's a self-striping yarn. And I, for one, can't quite figure out if there's any real repeat to the socks, to the stripes. Like you think, okay, pink to pink, but no, it's not. I don't know. It just makes me dizzy looking at it. It's really nice. I really like the feel of this yarn. It knits up real nice. It feels good. And I did a German short row heel, just a regular German short row heel, no any heel flap adjustment. And I can speak. I can. The foot is very small. It's not very small. It fits on a blocker. And these are the medium-sized blockers from Knit Picks. Okay, so the gauge is really tight. It just fit on the blocker, see? The gauge is very tight, so I usually knit my socks like this on a 2.75mm, which is a US size 2. These are a 2.25mm, which is US size 1, which from what I can tell, seems like a very popular, like usually most people would knit on a 1. But I found that for me, I know socks are supposed to have a tight gauge to help with wear and stuff. This is really tight. Like, this is a 64 stitch sock, and so is this. This, like, it fits, but I could not get this over my heel. Like, there was no way this was going over my heel, even before I put the heel in, when I just had the leg to see if it would fit, even possibly could be my pair of socks. It wasn't going to fit. These do. So, I don't know if it's my gauge. Like, I don't think I'm a tight or a loose knitter, one or the other. I feel like my gauge is pretty good. But, like you can see, here's, it'll lay flat again. Here's the gauge with a 1. It's very tight. Very tight. Not unpleasant to work, just tighter than I'm used to. And for the gauge for these socks, like, that's not nearly as tight. Like, I don't know. I love my socks. I've knit all of them on a US size 2. But yeah, I tried to give a 1 a try. This is my second time knitting with a 1. I tried knitting a pair of socks with the Knit Picks Heather on a 1, and it was just not a pleasant experience. Granted, that yarn was also black yarn, so that could also have something to do with it. But yeah, these will just be a gift. These socks will either fit one of my sisters. I have big feet, so finishing the foot on this was just such a quick thing. It's kind of crazy, because I usually have miles to go, because my feet are a bit big. I also, for this one, did a standard toe, since it's going to be a gift. And then here's the other one. I'm nearly done. I'll finish it today, probably. And I knit with Chagu red lace on a 40-inch cable. So yeah, that's all there's to say about these. They're nice. Just wanted to talk about the needles. I like knitting on a 2. I like the gauge I get. I don't know. Okay. The next aside for other things, mainly my crochet shawl. In this bag, which is one I sewed, it's one of my, I like to consider this my first real project bag, even though this is far from perfect. It's very nice. And the box bottom is not, well, it's actually quite terrible. If you can see, the corners did not line up here. They did on the side. But I really love the fabric. Okay. Here is a sweater I'm knitting. It's the same brand as this, the JDK. The colorway, I forget, and I don't want to crinkle everything. Oh, here's the tag. Colorway is Pina Colada. And here it is in the skein. It's a self-striping yarn. I'm nearly done with my first skein. Here's it knit up, and it's on a short cable. It's this 4-color repeat, the cream, the brown, the dark gray, and like the blue gray. And then it has some speckles of the other colors in the stripes. And I'm knitting this on a US 6, which is a 4mm needle. This is a 24-inch cord. So my plan for this is I'm knitting a sweater. It's going to be bottom up. And it's going to be drop. It's not going to really be drop shoulders, but it's going to be that kind where you pick up, where you knit the body to the underarms and then you separate, and then you'll have to pick up for the sleeves, like that. Does that make sense? I'm hoping to do a V-neck, not terribly deep, but it's going to be just a big comfy sweater, and I'm probably going to do the sleeves like I did for my other sweater, just no shaping. Now it's not really a concern. I've kind of talked myself out of it being a concern, but since this is self-striping, when I separate, the round's are going to be in half, which means the stripes are going to double in length. Now, I don't think it's going to be that bad, because on my other sweater that I finished, I used the self-striping for the sleeves, and they were rather thick stripes, but not terrible compared to this, if that makes sense. So I'm not really worried about when I get to up here, and since I'll be trying to shape for a V, the stripes will even get bigger. I don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be okay. And my plan for the sleeves is to do a solid. I'm not sure. I might do the tan as a solid. I don't know yet. We'll see. But this is just plain stockinette. And I've actually already put, when casting on, I've put the markers in for half and half so that when I reach the underarm point, I don't have to count. I can just start knitting straight for the back. So yeah, that's it for that. Try not to crinkle because I have all the other yarn in there, so it's in plastic and it's going to make a sound. Okay, my last work in progress is one I just cast on last night. Okay, so this kind of actually goes into the design talk. So I wanted to make a hat. Don't know, yes I do know why. I have this hat, which I knit a long time ago. This is just a very simple broken rib hat. I don't remember the yarns, but it's just simple, a broken rib, or garter rib, whichever you prefer. And I think I just cinched it for the decreases. And while looking at it, I realized I liked it. I'd like to have another one. And I thought, well, I'll write up a pattern for it and put it out there as a free pattern. And so I decided, yeah, I'm going to make a hat. So, got everything ready to make a hat. I cast it on, put it in, this is one of my bags with all my pins on it. And I did the ribbing and joined my next color to mimic this big stripe, and realized I have a better idea. So I was going to do a stitch pattern, but striping. And mostly the striping thing was because I was very comfortable and did not want to get up and get my scissors to cut away the gray yarn. If I had, we might be having a different conversation. Laziness. So I started it, and this morning actually I realized I didn't like it. So I ripped back and did a different thing. And while I was doing this, I realized that the colors I picked are the colors of the show Psych. If you don't know the show Psych, you need to watch it because it's great. But so this has kind of inadvertently become my Psych hat. And so pattern, it has the broken rib in it, the garter rib. It's just a bit different from what I originally planned, which is good because I'm really happy now, and this will probably work up really fast. So now I have two patterns. They'll probably both be free. 2 free patterns to get up. So it's quite fun. The yarn are just 2 scraps I had. This is actually the gray I used in my previous sweater, the Joy Decay in the Cloud colorway, and this is just I think it's the same brand as the purple and pink that were in my shawl, the Baby Bee yarn. I don't remember the colorway. And I'm knitting it on a US 5, which is a 3.75, I think. I can't really tell from the etching. These are actually my Knit Picks Caspian needles. They're gorgeous. Can you see that wood? Green wood. I love it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And I'll probably knit up another thing of this to do some proper decreases, other than just cinching it closed. I'm kind of very big on cheating crown decreases, because just like when you knit the body of the hat, you're done. And get out my DPNs and do proper decreases? No. Why do that? Okay. Design talk. I have a couple sock patterns I want to get out, including the box of socks. But the first one I want to get testers for is the Royal socks, which are the purple socks I showed a while ago. I think I can insert a picture here. They are very simple socks. The rib is a fake cable rib. It's so simple. It's mostly just knitting and purling and twisted stitches. It's so fun. I love it. And then the body of the sock is, it's got this simple, I don't even think it's less than 16 stitches. It's a lace panel, but it's so simple, and once you've done it like 1-2 times, you can easily read your knitting and just keep going, and the rest is stuck in it. It's so simple and it's so fast, and I love it. The pattern will come with instructions for a heel flap and gusset, and a store toe, but you can of course, substitute. I really just need to make sure that the lace instructions are good. So I hope to have a Ravelry thread for testing up for that soon. If I do, I will try and figure out how to link it below. It's a magic world of links. I'll also have a post about it on my Instagram directing you to there. So I hope to get that out. So if you're interested in testing the Royal socks, check it out. It's so simple. It's so much fun. I love it. And I think that's it. Yeah. How many times can I say the rest of the day is probably going to be spent watching some podcasts, because I love podcasts. I've found quite a few new ones. I mentioned last week the Quirky Monday Craft Cast. Yeah, just fun podcasts. You can probably see which ones I'm subscribed to. I don't know how anything works. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. And that's it. I hope to make this a weekly thing. I think I can. Just a little engine. Thank you for watching, and happy knitting!